Hello there. Can you please introduce yourself, your pronouns, and say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So my name's Marlowe, and my pronouns are they, them. I'm a creative based in the UK. I do traditional and digital art, and I'm a writer as well.
The reason we're here today, obviously, is because you won the most recent We Create Together challenge. So well done for that. The theme was locked out. What can you tell us sort of behind your creative process with this piece?
I kind of started the piece thinking about disability because I'm somebody with an invisible disability, and I'd watched a video essay on Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis and how it can also be read as a metaphor for disability and for being a disabled person in an able-bodied world. And then everything kicked off with the Unite the Kingdom nonsense. And as a person of colour and as somebody who wasn't born in the UK, it didn't suddenly feel, it's been feeling increasingly hostile for a very long time. But it was an abrupt confrontation with the fact that despite the fact that this is my home, a lot of people don't think that I should be able to make a home here, and don't think that I and people like me and people less fortunate than me who don't have citizenship here, who are refugees and asylum seekers, should be treated as second-class citizens. And it was my inspiration for the piece then turned from being about being put in an environment or being locked in an environment based on disability to just being in an environment that's actively hostile to you. So my piece is a drawing of a goldfish in a cage, and it's that thing of you remove a fish from the ocean and you can still put it in an environment where it can, be happy, and it can, I'm not quite sure how to express it, but an environment where it can continue to live and isn't facing any immediate danger to itself. And the fish in the cage, it's not that it's even removed from an environment in which it's most comfortable. It's the fact that the cage is an actively hostile environment for a fish. There's no water, they're aquatic creatures, they can't breathe, they can't survive. And it's that thing of compounding factors with, the burgeoning rise of populism in the UK, in the US and elsewhere, of how do people who are made other and who are already marginalised by society, how do you try and participate in a society that's actively trying its hardest to lock you out in every facet it can imagine to do so? So that was kind of the inspiration behind it.
No, absolutely. It's we're definitely facing some difficult times at the moment, and it definitely comes through in the piece. So I can definitely see, where you're coming from with that. I don't have as many kind of struggles with things myself as there are, or fall into as many categories that are having issues at the moment as you do. But I can definitely see and empathise with you, on those. It's not easy at the moment. So have you been creating, I'll start that again. What have you been creating since your last interview with us?
I've just been doing little bits and pieces, really. So there was my entry to the competition, which was supposed to be a watercolour illustration and accompanied by a flash fiction, kind of speculative fiction piece. Ironically enough, that ended up being that I didn't have enough spoons to finish it in time for the competition. I'm hoping to get it published by the end of this month. I've just been doing some, casual watercolour practice as well, just little creative things to, boost my mood and keep the skills intact.
Oh, brilliant. I look forward to seeing that piece when it's finished as well. If you could recommend one piece of media to listeners right now, what would you choose?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm currently listening to the Blowback podcast, their series on the invasion of Iraq, and that's really interesting. I mean, it's very sober listening. It's not a light-hearted listening, but it's really interesting to kind of see how the geopolitical wheels were turning behind that situation.
Amazing. Yeah, it doesn't sound like something that would be sort of something you sit and binge of a weekend. It would be a one at a time sort of listening.
Yeah.
Okay. The last time we spoke, you mentioned you were working on a book. How's that going?
Yeah, the book's going pretty well. I kind of changed directions of it a little bit. but I'm really enjoying writing it. I've got the framework for it down, and it's a lot more lighthearted than my most recent contributions, I should say. But yeah, it's kind of embracing, writing, and also embracing the scientific aspect of things, which, because of my background, I really enjoy doing. So yeah, it's going pretty well. Thank you for asking.
What do you make of the fledgling political movement, Your Party?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Part of me really, really wants to stand behind Your Party 10 toes. The other part of me is there's a running joke, or kind of in-joke within the leftist movements, that you can never strategize, you can never organize things. Like, everything will fall apart over, which school of theory you belong to within 5 seconds. And I was really, really hoping, I was like, Your Party's going to be different. Your Party's going to be different. And it's looking a bit like perhaps it's not.
I agree. When it was all sort of coming out and it was being discussed at first, I thought, oh, brilliant, this is what we need, something different to, challenge how things have been recently. And let's just say I'm a bit disappointed about how things have been going. But yes, hopefully something good will come of it. But I'm losing my optimism on it personally.
Yeah, I am a bit as well. I'm holding out hope that there'll be, even if it's not the party in its current iteration, that Jeremy Corbyn and others who are of a more leftist stance will be able to pull something coherent together before the next election. Because based on predicted voting, if we don't have a united leftist party, things are going to be a bit dire at the next election.
On the same themes and sort of along the same lines of what you were saying earlier with the Unite the Kingdom stuff, what are your thoughts and feelings on British patriotism, and is it compatible with left principles?
I think there's recently, especially the past couple of years, there's been this notion of progressive patriotism. And I think one of the issues with that in its current iteration is that it's basically stereotypical British patriotism, but with all of the anti-immigrant and, kind of post-colonial edges of it filed off. And it's all well and good to say England welcomes everyone, this is a place where everyone can be at home, but are steps actually being taken to make it a place where everybody feels welcome at home? It's the whole thing of, it's all good saying we're all British here, but the lived experience of British people of colour, particularly people who weren't born here, and people who have earned their citizenship or through naturalisation, so after they've been here for however many amount of years is at the moment, and even people who've arrived here and in the process of getting their citizenship, whether that's through work visas, whether that's through asylum claims and being refugees, even if you're considered quote unquote British enough, I don't think that the struggles that you face are taken into account when in progressive patriotic movements. It's the whole thing of everybody's British here, but it's like, okay, everybody's British here, but we still have a roundly corrupt and incredibly racist police force. Black women are still 3 times more likely, I think is the most recent data, to die or suffer complications in maternal care. Something, I think it's 2.5 times. You're 2.5 times more likely to experience postnatal complications or have your life put in acute danger if you're a South Asian or of another ethnic minority background. Like, movement to embrace, the football, the England shirts, the World Cup, fish and chips, and nobody wants to talk about, the real kind of socioeconomic violence that people of colour still face. And even if the systems aren't directly targeted today towards, disadvantaging people who are from ethnic minority backgrounds, those systems, like, their teeth might have been filed down, but those systems still bite, and they still do very tangibly affect the lives of people of colour. And also, I feel like progressive patriotism, it only kind of hides the rot. It's painting over mold, effectively, like it's painting over dry rot, effectively. The problem is that England was very much a colonial power and has to reckon with that history, not just kind of at home and the legacy of it here, but like what it's done to the world, the things that it's incited geopolitically. And I feel like even if you are British, like as somebody with citizenship, there's this kind of you're only British until something goes wrong. There's a Turkish-German footballer who, when everything kicked off with the far-right party in Germany, AfD, said that while he was playing, he was German if he won, but he was an immigrant when the German team lost. And I think that's very much a sentiment that I have. Certainly, I can't speak for everybody who's, British and a person of colour, of course, but in my family, that's very much the sentiment, is that you're only classified as British enough until something happens. And I feel like progressive patriotism doesn't make any real steps to, right the wrongs or face up to both, historical injustices and current injustices that have been perpetrated at the hands of the British state. And, make any real inroads to reparations or inroads to, intersectional collaboration, making Britain a place where everybody is truly welcome, where everybody is truly equal. It just kind of, it's a nice facade to put over the fact that systems are failing in every which way in this country, and just structurally everything is very wrong in England.
No, absolutely, I agree with you there. It's like what you said about, when everything's going fine, people are classified as British, but as soon as they put a foot wrong or even perceived to, they're suddenly not British anymore, even if they were born in the UK. It's unfortunately a very horrible picking and choosing, which tends to be quite prevalent at the moment. But no, I 100% see where you're coming from there. So just to make things a little bit lighter, because I know obviously we have covered some quite heavy topics, if you could choose one person to write a new national anthem for the UK, who would you pick and why?
I would probably pick Akala, because he's a rapper and he also does a lot of writing about, he's got a really good book called Natives, which kind of discusses the intersections of race and class in post-colonial Britain. And I think that he's somebody who is very involved in the culture in the UK, but he's also somebody who's kind of very aware of, where England's gone wrong and where it could go better. And I think that a national anthem should be something that holds hope for your country. It extols its virtues and extols the fact that things may not be perfect, but there's hope. We can work together, we can build this to be a better place. And I think he'd be a really good person to write it.
I know, I agree with you there. And if you could collaborate with any person, alive or dead, who would that be, and what would you like to create together?
Oh, I'd really like to write with Benjamin Zephaniah, the poet. He was one of my favourite poets growing up, and I really, really loved his work. And I write a bit of poetry, and I'm working on an anthology at the moment. And I'd really like to kind of pick his brain and see what we could come up with together. So he would have been my dream collaboration.
Okay, well that's the questions over with now. So I've got a bit of a quick fire round. We try and do these a bit quickly, but sometimes the answers aren't always an either or.
Yeah,
but we'll see how we do. So, best TV program right now?
Oh, The Pit.
I've not seen that. I will check it out though. Who's your favourite vocalist?
Oh, good question. Probably Sampha.
Are wasps bastards or good actually?
Intellectually, I want to say they're good, actually. I know they're important pollinators, but I will say the second there is one within 20 meters of me, I'm leaving the vicinity. Intellectually, they're cool. In person, they're bastards.
I agree. There's where we park our car near our house, there's a tree that wasps tend to nest in the bottom of, and every year when they wake up in the spring, it's awful because you have to get in the car really fast and hope that you've not brought a friend in with you.
You are far braver than me.
Well, it's that or walk.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
Roast dinner or barbecue?
Oh, gonna have to go barbecue. Love good barbecue.
And on the subject of barbecues, burger or hot dog?
Burger.
Are you an early riser or a night owl?
Night owl, definitely.
What's the best milkshake you've ever had?
Oh, that's a really good question. Oh, what was the best milkshake I've ever had? Now I've got to think. I had a really nice pistachio and chocolate one once. I can't even remember where I got it from, but I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be a life changer. And it was really good.
You might need to make it your life mission to find it again.
Yeah. It was when I was visiting my sister, so it's somewhere up north. I can't remember exactly what the shop is, and I'm pretty sure it's franchised as well. So that's going to be an interesting hunt. But
I mean, even if you don't find it, you'll have some lovely milkshakes in the process.
yeah, definitely. A win is a win.
Exactly. McCoy's or Monster Munch?
Oh, Monster Munch. Can't beat a Monster Munch.
Union Jack or the Jolly Roger?
Jolly Roger.
Music concert or a stand-up gig?
Gonna have to go with a stand-up gig.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today. We'll look forward to seeing some more stuff that you create.
Thank you.